Well, from breaches on the tarmac to crisis on the farmland as regulators crack down on aviation misconduct, farmers across Nigeria are also crying out for urgent government intervention to survive the food crisis. That's our talking point after this break. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Everyone knows that the average price of staples like rice and maize has more than doubled compared to 2 years ago, with local rice up over 130% and maize up nearly 50%, deepening the food crisis for millions. In response, we've seen the Tinubu administration launch some interventions, from attempts at eliminating what they call briefcase farmers through a new digital registry to delivering 2,000 of a promised 10,000 tractors to boost mechanized farming. There's also the Agro Pocket Initiative, which saw over 133,000 hectares of wheat cultivated in the north, and partnerships like the Special Agro Processing Zones backed by the AFDP. But the real question is, are these reforms working fast enough? With input prices still rising and more farmers threatening to abandon their fields, can Nigeria avert a deeper hunger crisis? Let's bring in National President of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Dr. Farouk Moody. Dr. Moody, thank you for joining us on Beyond the Headlines. The Tinubu administration has introduced several initiatives. Are these efforts really reaching those on the ground, especially smallholder rice and maize farmers in the north, who now say they are considering abandoning their farms due to high input costs?
Yes, actually, the Tinubu administration has injected so much funds into agriculture, and yet farmers are crying. However, you have to understand that the quantum of the large scale of the farming institution in Nigeria is just too large, and the next project that intervene in providing inputs to the farmers is about 500,000 farmers that were reached in wheat production, but it has reached the farmers actually. That is the AFDB intervention actually, but the issue now is that because of the licensing that is given for the importation of maize and rice, that is where the farmers are crying about. However, we have to stand at the middle to mediate between why the government has given out the license and why the farmers are crying. One thing is that whoever is in the government, whoever is a leader, he always have a sympathy to his citizen. So definitely at that juncture, President has no alternative than to do so, because there were so many cries that there is hunger in the country, people are suffering, they cannot feed themselves, food price keep inflating. So that is the emergency and the bold decision that anybody that have concern with this citizen that can do. That is to provide the license to have immediate question on the citizen. On the other hand, the inputs dealers, the prices of inputs that the farmers are using to produce that food in the country is going high. However, the issue is there is a missing link whereby the government, if we sit with the farmers and get accurate advices and links where they reach the actual farmers, that is where the problem is. Sometimes there are other interventions, but does it reach the actual farmers? The funds that the President Tinubu has injected, I don't think ever before there is somebody that injected funds into agriculture like him, investing over 1.5 trillion naira into Bank of Agri, excellent, investing into Agri Trust Fund and so on. So there is much to do, and then that is why we from our own side too, we are bringing our own data bank, because that data, it has to come from the farmers, because we have leadership from my humble self to state level, local government, down to ward level.
I hear you, Dr. Moody. Let's talk about this data bank for a bit, because this administration says it's determined to eliminate briefcase farmers who drain resources meant for real producers. Does AFAN, your association, have confidence in this new digital registry, and are you a part of the verification process?
Actually, we are not touched yet on this data bank, but we are waiting for government to call us, because that data bank, if AFAN or association farmers group were not involved in the data bank, then the issue will be defeated even from the onset, because we have the farmers at the lower level, and if we do the digital, then it means anybody can go into that application and get registered. But if we are used at the ward level, you know, our group will determine who is a farmer and who is non-farmer in various clusters. Who is non-farmer, you know, our people will not allow him register. They will not involve him, because they know that they will siphon whatever funds that is meant for the farmers. So, but doing it only from the angles of ministry or whatever, it will not solve the case. That is why we also have our own data bank. We can bring it to the ministry and then or to the government. If we can align together, I believe that that thing will work well.
You have said that AFAN has a detailed data bank of a database of real farmers, and that it's well positioned to serve as an intermediary between MDAs, multilateral donors, and farmers. But in reality, how well is this role currently being recognized by, say, the Ministry of Agriculture and other relevant government agencies? Are you being consulted or sidelined?
You know, we just came out from this the issue of litigation when the government launched that data issue. The AFAN is the apex body of all commodity associations. That is why you have complete voice of the farmers in one place. Because, but when there was litigation, you know, farmers, the associations were disintegrated. And at that point, government has no option than to do it its own way. You understand? But now that we are in one bundle, I believe that when we sit with the government, we will be involved and we will help the government succeed in that aspect.
So what do you consider the scale of the crisis right now among maize and rice farmers in Nigeria today? If urgent support doesn't come, how bad could food inflation get in the coming months?
The fear is not even about the inflation. The fear is about if the farmers drop their business of farming, you understand, then we will go back decades, you understand. And because if they drop, me and you know that agriculture is business like every other business. And every business, if there is no profit, no gain in it, you understand, you just do it, you are not even serious. So we are advising the government where to go further. The only problem there is that because the food produce is very cheap now, and then there is inflation in the agro inputs like fertilizer, chemicals, other services like tractor services and harvesting also. But if we call the government, then we know what is itching us. Then we now tell the government, if you do A, B, C, D, believe me sincerely, we will no more import food, because we can produce it at that price, at even lower than the price that we are importing, because there is money for shipment and other things. You understand? But we need to sit with the government. We need to show the government how it will, how they will succeed and excel in this issue. But it's a scary issue, actually, if the farmers could drop. But we are sensitizing the farmers now. They shouldn't do that. There is going to be an intervention by the government, and the government is very serious The government is looking forward for advices from us and from them also.
Dr. Modi, we have just about a minute to go. We understand there's a vision to make Nigeria a regional agricultural hub but for millions of Nigerians, they just want to eat today, right? I'm wondering what you consider the immediate actions that government must take in the next 3 to 6 months to address food insecurity in real terms. If you can do that in 60 seconds.
Believe me sincerely, there is much to do, because even the cycle of food production is not more than 120 days. That is 4 months. And within that 4 months, if government does everything in a good way and sit with us, and then I believe that before another cycle, we can produce and we can tackle that issue and that challenges. Dr.
Farouk Rabi Mode is the National President of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria. Thank you for talking to us.
I appreciate too.